Welcome back to Top 10 Magazine. My name is Tom, and in this video we want to explore the journeys of some of history's greatest explorers.
Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more top 10 videos like this one.
Number 1. Christopher Columbus. Born in Genoa, Italy, Columbus was obsessed with finding a western sea route to Asia and lobbied European rulers for years before Spanish Queen Isabella finally funded his voyage. He set sail in 1492 with 3 small ships, the Nina, Pinta, and Santa Maria. After over 2 months at sea, he made landfall in the Bahamas in October 1492, believing he had reached the Indies. He made 3 further voyages. In 1493 he explored the Caribbean islands of Puerto Rico, Jamaica, and Hispaniola. In 1498, he landed at Trinidad and the northern coast of South America, reaching Venezuela. In 1502 he searched coastal Central America from Honduras to Panama, still looking for the elusive passage to Asia before returning to Spain disgraced and dying in relative obscurity. His 1492 voyage was one of the most important events in world history, marking the beginning of Spain's colonization of the Americas. Number 2. Ferdinand Magellan. Born in Portugal, Magellan convinced King Charles I of Spain to support his expedition to find a western route to the Spice Islands of Asia. He set sail in 1519 with a fleet of 5 ships and over 270 men. Facing turbulent storms and treacherous seas, they survived a grueling winter in Patagonia before discovering the Strait of Magellan into the Pacific Ocean in November 1520. Magellan was killed in battle in the Philippines in 1521, but the circumnavigation voyage continued under the leadership of Juan Sebastian Elcano. They crossed the Indian Ocean, rounded the Cape of Good Hope, and returned to Spain on September 6, 1522 with only 1 ship and 18 men, completing the first circumnavigation of Earth and proving definitively that the planet was round. It was one of the greatest voyages of discovery in history. Number 3. James Cook. Considered one of the greatest navigators and mapmakers, Cook went on 3 legendary voyages charting and documenting the Pacific Ocean for the British Royal Navy. His first voyage from 1768 to 1771 on the HMS Endeavour mapped New Zealand and Australia's eastern coastline to astonishing accuracy. The second from 1772 to 1775 on the HMS Resolution took him to Antarctica, Tahiti, and remote Pacific Islands. His final voyage from 1776 to 1779 on the Resolution and Discovery searched the Arctic for the fabled Northwest Passage before exploring and mapping the Pacific Northwest coast of North America in detail until his death in Hawaii. His voyages dramatically expanded European knowledge of the Pacific world. Number 4. Lewis and Clark. Meriwether Lewis and William Clark's epic expedition Corps of Discovery was commissioned by President Thomas Jefferson after the Louisiana Purchase in 1803. From 1804 to 1806 they traveled across the newly acquired western half of the country from near St. Louis up the Missouri River, across the Continental Divide, down the Columbia River to the Pacific Ocean, mapping, collecting scientific specimens, and meeting Native American tribes along the over 8,000-mile route. It was the first American overland expedition to reach the Pacific, fulfilling Jefferson's vision of an expanded nation from coast to coast. Number 5. Roald Amundsen. The famous Norwegian polar explorer was the first expedition leader to successfully navigate the treacherous route through Canada's Northwest Passage above the Arctic Circle between 1903 to 1906. Traveling aboard the tiny 47-ton fishing boat GJOA, they found a route through narrow, ice-filled straits and islands that had defeated many explorers before him. His expedition was also the first to reach the South Pole on December 14, 1911 using sled dogs, skiing ahead of the ill-fated Scott expedition in a race to the pole.
Don't forget to like and share this video if you enjoyed it, and subscribe to our channel for more top 10 videos like this one.
Number 6. Ernest Shackleton. An Anglo-Irish explorer, Shackleton led 3 British expeditions to Antarctica but is most renowned for the epic endurance expedition of 1914 to 1917. His ship became trapped and was eventually crushed and sunk by shifting ice floes in the Weddell Sea. Shackleton and his crew drifted on ice floes for months before making an audacious 800-mile open boat journey through stormy Antarctic seas to remote South Georgia Island. He then trekked its mountainous interior to a whaling station to organize the rescue of the rest of his crew left behind, saving all their lives through his heroic leadership and tenacity. Number 7. Charles Darwin. Darwin's 5-year voyage aboard the HMS Beagle from 1831 to 1836 was one of the most important scientific expeditions in history. The Beagle, captained by Robert Fitzroy, was embarking on a survey expedition around South America and the world sponsored by the British Admiralty. Darwin served as the ship's naturalist and geologist. During the voyage, Darwin made extensive geological, biological, and fossil collections. He studied rock formations and collected specimens in the Andes, on the Galapagos Islands, in New Zealand, Australia, and many other locations across the globe. Darwin was struck by the unique species he encountered on the Galapagos Islands and their adaptations to each environment. He began to formulate his theories of evolution, noticing how geographically isolated populations gradually adapted into new species over generations to suit their environment. Number 8. Marco Polo. The travels of Marco Polo between 1271 to 1295, recorded in his famous book The Travels of Marco Polo, detailed his 24-year journey throughout Asia, especially China. Marco Polo was a Venetian merchant who left Venice with his father and uncle in 1271 on a trading mission to China. They journeyed across the Silk Road through Persia, across the Pamir Mountains of Central Asia, and the Gobi Desert to finally reach the court of Kublai Khan, the Mongol Emperor of China, in 1275. Marco Polo entered into the service of Kublai Khan for 17 years. During this time, he traveled extensively as an emissary for the Khan throughout the vast Mongol Empire in China, Tibet, Burma, and Southeast Asia. Number 9. Ibn Battuta. The Arab Muslim scholar Ibn Battuta traveled extensively around the medieval world between 1325 to 1354, covering an estimated 75,000 miles across North Africa, West Africa, Eastern Europe, the Middle East, Central Asia, India, Southeast Asia, and China. He described his journey in a famous account called the Rihla, Travels. Ibn Battuta, a jurist from a family of legal scholars in Morocco, left his homeland in 1325 on a Hajj, pilgrimage, to Mecca, as was expected of pious Muslims. But this launched him on 29 years of perpetual travel well beyond his Hajj duty. He journeyed down the coast of East Africa to Somalia, Tanzania, through southern Arabia, Persia, across the Gobi Desert to China. He crisscrossed what is now India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, and the Maldives multiple times. He traveled through Central Asia, the Middle East, the Iberian Peninsula, and West Africa before finally returning home in 1354. Number 10. Zheng He. A legendary Chinese Muslim eunuch admiral, Zheng He led 7 enormous naval expeditions sponsored by Emperor Yongle between 1405 to 1433. His fleets, sometimes comprising over 300 ships including vast, treasure ships over 400 feet long, explored throughout maritime Asia, from Southeast Asia to India to the Persian Gulf, Red Sea, and east coast of Africa. His armadas projected Ming China's power through trade and diplomacy, sailing decades before European navigation beyond the Atlantic. His voyages marked the pinnacle of Chinese naval power before they halted their maritime expeditions.
Want to see more top 10 videos like this one? Subscribe now and join our community.